Welcome to another startup and complete car documentation. What we're looking at today is a 2006 Chevrolet HHR 1LT. This HHR is painted in black with, as you can see, a custom wrap and wood paneling to make it look like a Woody. On the remote fob, you got the buttons for lock, unlock, remote start, and panic. The front door panels have storage areas. You have power mirrors and power locks, and of course power windows, but they're located in the center console. The interior of this one comes in the cashmere color scheme, and the 1LT trim comes with cloth seats. This one currently has front seat covers. Got a partially powered driver's seat. And now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start the engine. The HHR, or Heritage High Roof, was a retro-themed compact car sold by Chevrolet for a single generation spanning from model years 2006 through 2011. The HHR styling is a throwback to the late 1940s and early 1950s era of Chevy Suburban and also Chevy Advanced Design trucks. So the HHR was essentially GM's answer to the rather polarizing PT Cruiser from Chrysler, another 2000s retro-themed tall hatchback. But the thing is, the PT Cruiser and HHR were actually designed by the same person. That's right, after designing the PT Cruiser, Brian Nesbitt joined General Motors and ended up designing arguably the biggest rival for the PT Cruiser, the HHR. Now that, in my opinion, is pretty interesting. The HHR rides on the General Motors Delta platform, which also underpinned a few other GM compact cars of the 2000s like the Chevy Cobalt and Saturn Ion. Throughout its run of 6 model years, the HHR didn't get what I'd consider a big facelift in terms of styling, but it did get some new interesting versions that came out within those years. For instance, 2007 saw a cargo panel van body style debut known as the HHR Panel. 2008 saw the introduction of a high-performance HHR SS, which had a 2-liter turbocharged engine with 260 horsepower. For 2009, they even made a rare HHR SS panel. 2010, though, was the last year for the SS variant. So for model year 2006, the HHR lineup consisted of 3 trim levels, those being LS, 1LT, and 2LT. The HHR panel hadn't yet come out, so all 2006 HHRs were of the 5-door hatchback body style. 2 different engines were offered across the 06 HHR lineup, both being naturally aspirated inline-fours. The base engine, which is what this one has, displaced 2.2 liters and put out 143 horsepower. This engine was standard on LS and 1LT. Optional on 1LT and standard on 2LT was a 2.4-liter engine, with power bumped up to 172 horses. Both engines could be paired with either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic transmission. Competitors back in 06 included other tall hatchbacks like the Chrysler PT Cruiser and Scion XB. In the instrument cluster, you have 4 analog gauges, your tachometer, speedometer, fuel gauge, and temperature gauge. I kind of like the look of the gauge cluster, how the tachometer is kind of floating on top, almost. You also have a digital info display, which can be gone through via right here on the steering wheel. It's got a 3-spoke design, multifunctional steering wheel. There are sport grips at 10 and 2 and comfort grips around the rest of the rim. All the controls are on this side, which include the controls for your cruise control and information display. And the steering wheel is tilt only. Air vent for the driver. Right here is your exterior lighting stock. And on this side is your wiper stock. Going down the center of the interior, got a storage compartment up top, air vents, hazard switch, passenger airbag indicator. Now this one's been fitted with an aftermarket Kenwood head unit. I guess we'll take a look at that a little bit more in a bit. Got the controls for your single zone climate control, controls for the rear wiper, along with a power outlet. And right here, interesting spot, but you got all your power window controls. Storage. Behind the shifter, you have 2 cup holders. The parking brake is hand operated, a little bit more storage. And the front seats do have armrests. Both sun visors have vanity mirrors and little straps to stick things on. And you have map lights on the rearview mirror. And here is that Kenwood head unit. Got some more modern stuff like Bluetooth audio capabilities, Sirius XM, Spotify, Pandora. And then of course AM, FM and a CD player. Settings. You can also hook up a backup camera. Sound settings is a shortcut button for that camera. Reverse camera, it would be here. Now, let's go ahead and roll down the driver's window and take a look at the engine bay. The driver's window is automatic down. This 1LT comes with the optional 16-inch 5-spoke alloy rims. Powering this 1LT is the HHR's base engine for 2006. That engine being GM's Ecotec 2.2-liter naturally aspirated inline-four. It's an all-aluminum, dual-overhead cam 16-valve power plant, and it produces 143 horsepower at 5,600 RPM, as well as 150 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. Power is sent solely to the front wheels, and this one has the available 4-speed automatic transmission with low-gear selection. Running on regular unleaded with a 16.2-gallon fuel tank, updated EPA estimates for HHRs equipped like this one are 21 mpg in the city and 28 mpg on the highway. It has a McPherson strut front suspension and a torsion beam rear suspension. Stopping the HHR are front disc brakes and rear drum brakes. Curb weight for the HHR averages out at 3,200 pounds. also got storage on the back door panels. (60/40) split folding rear seats. Power outlet, rear cup holder. Right, there's your rear power window switches. Kodak. Now space back here, as someone who's about 6'1", well, I put the driver's seat where I'd have it if I was driving, and legroom is not really good. My legs are really pressing up against the seat. But on the other hand, headroom is actually quite good. Of course, kind of has to do with the shape of the car. This is a compact, so legroom not the greatest for larger people, but these are just with my circumstances. Single exhaust, rear wiper. The HHR boasts 55.6 cubic feet of cargo space once you fold down the rear seat. And as you saw earlier, the fuel cap is on the passenger side. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2006 Chevrolet HHR. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.